Either Land Monkey's got some 8-bit dancing going on there or he's having a seizure. I can't quite tell. But welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and they call me Chris of the Northwest. And one of these days, I'm going to figure out why. And we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're trying to figure out if you have a RealID or not, we'll be caching in the Northwest. Now, tonight we are talking about the Fraser Valley Cache Bash 8. So listeners, give us your feedback, share your weekend plans with us, and your thoughts through the live chat. We know you guys are going to just blow the chat up, so feel free, have at it. We love you. But before we go too far, it's time to bring in our meandering mandrill. Some say he has resuscitated 6 species of rodents. And others say he frightens the Japanese more than Godzilla. All we know is he's called Land Monkey. Land Monkey, you're still muted, and that makes you even scarier.
Aha, there we go. I was being so kind and making sure I was on mute for the intro into the podcast. Did you know that those 2 facts you shared about me are directly related to each other?
Oh, I did not.
Yes.
Now, see, you don't often share the segues between your facts when we talk. You just share a random fact, and I'm left to put the pieces together.
Yeah. Well, I just thought you might enjoy having a little bit more information there.
You might want to be careful about what you share on the internet because a lot of these things are popping up. I'm just saying.
Indeed. What else? I was thinking of something else I wanted to share. Oh, I'll think of it later. Anyways, good to be back here. I feel like I've been nonstop podcasting. I was podcasting last night as well.
Isn't it fun to do multiple podcasts in a week?
You know
you
what?
Should do it for years on end.
Right? Yeah, fair enough. You did. And on the same night, though, usually you were doing. But I think the funniest thing about being a guest on somebody else's podcast, and maybe you experience the same thing, is remaining quiet through their entire intro and sponsors.
Yes, and that's become more difficult the longer I have my own podcast.
Right?
That it's like, oh wait, this is a whole different cadence. It feels different. I'm going to share the same type of information, right? I already know the information, but it's an odd feeling. So
there you go.
I appreciate all you guys who have taken the last 15 years and listened to me, and I don't know how you've done it.
I appreciate you guys listening to Chris as well, and I don't know how you do it either. And I know what I was going to say. You were concerned that I was having a seizure. I was not. I was doing my David Byrne impersonation. So,
David Byrne.
There you go.
Do I know David Byrne?
If you know the Talking Heads, you know David Byrne.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I couldn't put that name with the.
You know what? I love it when I can get you or Jim on something related to pop culture, because usually you guys get me. So there you go. Anyhow, hey, we were just talking about being on other people's podcasts and them talking about their patrons and sponsors. Well, let's talk about our patrons and sponsors. Chris, what do you think?
I love it. I've got some right here.
Oh, look at all of them. You are full of patrons.
They weren't all supposed to come up at the same time.
That was very exciting, though. I enjoyed that.
How about just one? What's the first one you want to talk about?
Well, how about Land Sharks?
Okay.
They're one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. And folks, if you haven't checked them out yet, check out the collection of 4 Fun Guy trackables. If there's something you want to get for your spring geocaching, well, order it online today from LandSharkz.ca. I got ahead of myself.
It's not as easy as you think it is.
No, it's not as easy as I think it is. All right. Bring up another one. Which one are we going to talk about next? How about Cachely? It's the premier geocaching app for iOS. Version 8.1 with Cachely Pro features offline maps of the entire world so you can navigate while offline. DeLorme and counties so you can finish those grids, and coming soon, we keep being promised CarPlay support. Find Cachely in the iOS App Store or go to cachely.com. Or, go to an event and look for Nick.
I'm going to let you pick the next one.
Okay. I choose Veil Mount.
Oh, look, it's already there.
Ah, excellent. Welcome to Vale Mount, where every season offers its own unique adventures. Nestled in the mountains, their village is surrounded by towering peaks, lush forests, and pristine rivers, providing endless opportunities for year-round exploration. So whether you seek outdoor thrills or a peaceful retreat, Vale Mount awaits you, Chris Umfenauer.
Oh, thank you. Bye-bye, Vale Mount. We
There
need
you
to go to Vale Mount.
We say that every episode
I
now,
know.
and I am totally on board. We definitely need to get the
We
show
we
up
need to
there.
stop by the Landshark store, navigate there with Cashly with CarPlay, and get to
Ooh,
Vale Mount.
nice. Yes. That would be a very long time between the Shark Store
Oh,
and Vail Mount, but we
huge.
can do it.
Yeah.
All right. And hey, folks, if you are enjoying this podcast for the last 15 years and or even just more recently,
Or less. Yeah.
or less, and you want to, not even tonight, and you want to know more about supporting our show, because clearly we need all the support we can get, click that Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website.
And folks,
Yes.
it's time for the glow.
Ooh.
Now, I know some have asked, what is a glow?
Chris,
Hmm.
what is a glow?
Somebody put up theirs. They have no idea what a glow is. A glow is a geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. What was that from Just Carlo? Oh, he late but made it. Oh,
There you go.
um,
It says it's hard to be indoors when it's so nice out, and it is.
yeah.
Hey, just interrupting your flow, but how's the weather down there, man?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's been a beautiful day today.
Nice. Same here.
Yeah, and we expect it through the weekend. Usually we get 5 great days of weather followed by 2 days of rain, which we call
Yes,
the weekend.
exactly. Welcome to the Northwest.
Yeah.
And I hate, I know you're gonna get into some more stuff here on the Alondro, on the glow, not the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, although that arguably may be more interesting, but that's not what we're talking about. Um, the great weather is a good segue into our topic for tonight that we will get to shortly after we glow for y'all, because we're excited to talk about some events in the Northwest.
You are so international, Land Monkey, with all the language facts that you know there. Yeah.
Just trying to keep it moving, bro.
There you go. So if you have a glow, you can send an email to feedback@cashingnw.com. You can call into 253-693-TFTC and show us just how you glow. And if you want to sing about one of our vendors, you're free to do that too when you call in.
Please do.
I got a comment this week. I'm sorry, I'm off track a little bit here. I
It's
know,
okay.
surprise. But Limax listened to the show last week, and they were like, everybody's like, "Oh, he cut it off so short." He didn't want to trigger any copyright warnings.
Ah, there you go.
There you go.
Did you want to read the glow? Do you want me to read the glow?
You know what? I'll read the glow.
Okay.
This comes from the Caching Cants, who just before showtime is our newest patron. So thank you very much, Caching Cants. We appreciate it, and we're humbled.
Thank you very much.
This email comes from, well, I already said it, the Caching Cants. 5,000 caches. We made it. Barely. As the milestone was approaching, we tried to figure out what cache type it should be. We decided on a virtual, as we don't have one yet for a milestone, and they're usually really unique and interesting locations. We had originally planned to go for a different virtual at New Year's Day, but plans shifted at the last minute to make this virtual 5,000 on our way to the Bend cache machine. I forgot to put the link in here, which one this was, but this is one of the you name it virtuals. Sorry, I had the link. I thought I pasted it in here.
No worries. Just roll
anyway.
with it, bro.
Overall, this one made a lot of sense to be 5,000. Number one, it's a virtual. Number two, it's in Olympia, the capital of Washington, where we started caching and where we made the vast majority of our finds. Number three, it's an oldie, which are always fun to find. Number four, it's on the route to Astoria for the cache machine. And number five, it's a picturesque and unique location. It was neat to read the history at Ground Zero and learn about the importance of it. After gathering the needed information, we took a few celebratory pictures before heading to the Capitol building to escape the rain and complete the Earth cache.
Good job.
Good job. So that Earth cache must have been 5,001, or could it have been 4,999? And yeah,
Perhaps.
getting to a milestone takes work. It just doesn't happen, right? To get to the one you want, you got to
Yeah.
really, really plan it.
Gotta
We're
work.
not slowing down from there, and we're just getting started. Yes, the Earth cache was 5,001.
There you go. Well, congrats, Caching Cants, on your 5,000 finds. That is a huge accomplishment. Thank you very much for sending that in via email. That's fantastic. And of course, thank you for supporting the podcast.
He adds, that was a while ago. Now, that was the first of the year. So,
Okay.
I'll be getting to 6,000 at Bounce Bounce's event on Saturday. Wow.
Somebody's been a busy kitty
That,
cat.
that's 1,000 caches in what, 4 months?
Yep.
Impressive.
That is impressive.
Most impressive.
There you go. Well, congrats. And let's hear about your 6,000 after the bounce. In fact, if you see any Caching and W hosts, maybe record something live with them.
Oh, let's talk about that. But before we get to that,
Yes.
use the hashtag bash to bring up any question and to chat in the in the live chat tonight. And of course, use the hashtag FATAS to bring up anything for the after show.
Do you mean
The after show?
Yes, I mean,
The after show.
yes.
nice?
It's almost like the third host is here.
Right? There we go.
Yes, astute listeners and viewers will notice that Witsend isn't here today. He's traveling at the moment. So
I don't like doing shows without him.
well, I consider canceling the entire show.
Yeah. Well, like the whole podcast, the whole series.
Well, 15
done.
years, that's enough. If there's, there can't be anything left to talk about after 15 years.
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
Going to any events soon, Chris?
Well, I'm going to Bounce Bounce Star Wars Day event, the Galactic Gathering. Are you a Jedi or a Sith?
Or neither.
Oh, that's GC Beta 1 X-Ray Yankee.
Nicely done.
Witsend and I will be there in person, so stop by and say hi. Especially if it's a milestone, come on by. We'll record a little intro or talk with you. In fact, who knows? Maybe we'll we'll do an entire episode based on just what you have to say. So stop on by.
Yeah. Well, and I would say it doesn't even have to be, because if the event's a milestone for you, just find Chris and Jim and have, share your thoughts. What's your favorite geocaching experience? How's your day been? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Anything.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cache that you found on the way here?
Yeah. Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?
There you go. IHAM says, wow, turn away for a minute and the show already gets to the FATAS really fast.
It does. That's right. Don't turn your back on us, IHAM. You know better. All right. So,
okay. So, at this event, Caching in the Northwest because of the event, was privileged to was given 5 prize keys to hide in the area. Those keys went very quickly, thanks to you all. So thanks for listening, and we hope you all win big in that prize vault.
So, Chris, for folks who didn't get a chance to get the keys but are listening to the show, what would you say was the secret to being able to know that a key is out, know where it is, and get to it first?
First time I told you the location, read the coordinates here on the podcast. After that, I used the Discord server, and I found that worked really well. So just, I put a picture up there, put a post with the cache location or the cache ID, the GC code for where I hid the key or where I placed the key. There was one that lasted overnight. Most of them were gone in a couple of hours, an hour or less. Yeah. So
very cool.
It was really impressive.
So yet another reason to join the Discord server. If somebody is like, okay, fine, I'll cave, I'll join the Discord server. Where do they get the link, Chris?
Well, you know what? The easiest thing to do is to go to our website, cachingandw.com. Right there on the front page is the link to the Discord server. And if you're a patron, link your Patreon account and your Discord account, and you'll be a moderator on the Caching in the Northwest Discord server.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, how about that?
Very cool. All right. Seebeck Tribe was lucky enough to get 2 keys. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Well done. All right. You know what?
No,
Chicken butt.
that's what I
Uh,
was going to say, but I was trying to keep it family friendly. I guess that is. There's nothing
well,
wrong with that. It's a fact of life.
you've met me.
Yeah.
Um, hey,
Caching Can't has 2 keys as well.
congrats. Well, caching can't's just like all over the place.
Well, you find 1,000 caches in 4 months, you're going to find a couple of keys as well.
Well, I lost my keys, so if anybody finds them,
Hmm.
let me know. Folks, get ready. May is shaping up to be a memorable month for you geocachers. Not only is it the Star Wars Day Galactic Gathering, but we are celebrating Big Blue Switch Day, the 25th anniversary of geocaching, and the arrival of 2 new treasure collections. Yay, more treasures. Yay, Kermit. The 2 new collections are called Classic Trackables and Mystery Books.
Ooh.
Ooh, they're going to be available starting May 6th at 12 p.m. UTC. Um, there's some rules about what you have to have completed first in order to collect them. So if you're one of those super active cacher that's like, I'm already caught up and I'm up to date on all the treasures, then you know what? Just keep going. You're going to get them. No worries.
You're getting 250 caches a month, you got no problem.
Right?
Mhm.
If you're not really too sure, well, you do have to complete the existing Celebrating 25 Years collection in order to start the Classic Trackables, and in order to start the Mystery Books, you have to have completed the Navigational Tools collection. So those are the 2 previous ones. So now I think we're on 5 and 6, right, of the numbers
Yes.
of treasures.
Yes. I believe
So
so.
so in order to complete 2
5.
and 3,
There, yeah.
you had to complete 1 and 2. In order to complete 5 and 6, you have to complete 3 and 4.
While it's not
Did I?
necessarily
No, I messed
complicated,
up my numbers. But anyways,
but you have to pay attention.
yes. And it's all in there. If you go to the geocaching.com website, go to your profile, and then down the side there, they've got the treasures thing. It's pretty well explained, that or the official app. So
Yep.
anyways, I won't
Exactly.
go into too many of the details on that, but that's kind of the weird logistics you need to consider if you want to get Classic Trackables or Mystery Books treasures.
Caching Can says, I may or may not have a cache publishing at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Got to get the Blue Switch Hider souvenir. So
Good stuff.
big Blue Switch souvenir. That's also tomorrow.
Yes.
That's May 2nd. You got to go get a cache then. In case you're listening to this some other date, it won't be tomorrow for you.
Mhm.
Hey, there is a limited time collaboration between Geocaching HQ and GeoGuessr. I'd like to buy a vowel in the end there.
Yeah,
It's
I know, right?
GeoGuessr in the celebration of a major milestone. That's 25 years of geocaching. GeoGuessr is an interactive geography game that drops players into random locations around the world using Google Street View. Just like geocaching, players use navigation and deduction skills, aka geosenses, to pinpoint the location. The closer the guess, the more points they earn. This year, geocachers can once again earn a limited time souvenir. Okay. So they're going to take you to Vista's remote hiking trails. I did it. I got dropped off like literally in the middle of Africa on a road. It's like there are no road signs. I was clicking.
The one that they did this, so that they did this a couple of years ago, I think, and
Mhm.
the previous one I felt was a lot easier. This one's a lot more challenging in the locations they're dropping you off in.
So
But it's a fun game.
it is. You've got a limited time. I want to say, is it 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something
Oh,
limited
two and a
time
half sounds right.
to guess where you are, to click on a map, and figure out where you are. And of
And
course,
honestly, the guessing is pretty generous. 3 minutes per round, Brian says.
there you go. 3 minutes per round. And there you go. And Big Blue Switch souvenir is available Friday through Sunday.
Nice.
You've got lots of time. You could have gotten it today. No, you
Yeah.
can't. It's still tomorrow. Wait,
Never
I'm
mind.
pretty sure I know my days.
Don't mind us.
Today felt like a Friday. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. And then the podcast came and I realized, wait, it's only Thursday. So to earn this limited time souvenir on GeoGuessr, of
Yep.
course, you have to create a free GeoGuessr account, play the GeoGuessr, that's not easy to say, GeoGuessr challenge between April 29th and May 9th
It's a
to
short
find
window.
the tracking code. Yes, it is. And then you need to discover the code at geocaching.com before May 9th to earn a special souvenir. So get on it. Not now, not while you're driving, but soon, in the next day or two. Just go knock that out and go get that special souvenir.
Yep.
And of course, you get a tracking. You'll get a discoverable as well.
Yeah, discoverable and a souvenir. Chris, I had to laugh with the creative free GeoGuessr account because it's like, well, create a free one or just reactivate the one you used last time.
Yeah. I use a password manager, and I went to GeoGuessr. I was like, did I log in? Oh yeah, I have an account.
go.
Click in. Let's go.
Awesome.
Skyhawker did it yesterday and got the souvenir.
Congrats.
Been there, done that, got the souvenir.
Good job.
Now, are you going to get the T-shirt?
There's the question.
Yep.
That would be nice if you got a T-shirt,
I think so.
but I don't.
Land Monkey, do you want to read this next one?
I would love to read this next one. Chris, if you happen to be in the Salt Lake area this weekend,
I might be.
okay. Well, if you do happen to be, the Murray Museum reopens on May 2nd with a city-wide celebration featuring historical reenactments, art, and community activities. A key highlight is the launch of, wait for it, 2 geocache treasure hunts. The first one is Love Murray, and the second is Love Murray by car. I don't know
It's
who Murray is.
B-Y, not, B-U-Y. Car.
I don't know who Murray is, but
Murray, buy a car.
Anyhow, but apparently very lovable. The geocache treasure hunts encourage residents and visitors to explore the city in a fun, interactive way. The day wraps up with a block party. Hold on, a block.
No.
Oh, little B, little P.
Yeah, it's a city block party. It's not
Right.
block party like we
That
think.
threw
block
me
party.
off. That threw me off. And then I realized, little B, little P, not block party. Because I'm thinking, hold on, they'd have to have a mega first to qualify for that. All right. Anyways, but it sounds like fun, including live music, food trucks, and games. So I'm not sure what's involved in the geocache treasure hunts. Does not sound like they are geo tours.
No.
Maybe.
Apparently, you need a car for one.
I don't know if they're geocoin challenges. That would be nice, but it doesn't sound like it.
I didn't. No, it was. I took this, ran it through Chat GPT, and said summarize it and highlight the geocaching. So that's about all they had in there. But it was some geocaching involved, and I thought that was nice for the reopening of this museum.
Absolutely, I think it's fantastic. We just all like to get our shiny things, right? So,
That's right.
very cool. All right,
Or smiley things.
Or smiley things, exactly. Well, should we get to the meat and or potatoes?
Oh, potato. Fraser. It's all the same.
Yes. Let's see how that goes tonight.
Oh, do you know how long I've been doing that in my head? Okay.
Probably at least a couple hours.
Yeah. And there it already started. No, not Fraser. The Fraser Valley Cache Bash. I'm working hard to pronounce that. Is an annual event focused on refreshing the geocaching game board. So tell us, Land Monkey, where is this happening? What is it about? How many caches are there? What are their locations? Can you give us the code words already?
Well, I can give you some information, but not all. So maybe start with a little bit of history. So it is the 8th year for the Fraser Valley Cache Bash. And it is a very fun, 9th year? It's the 9th year?
No, it's the 8th year.
It's the 8th year. Okay. Sorry. Chat Lackey's throwing me off with funny finger stuff.
He's trying to tell us a number, but it's not working.
It looks too much like a spider, so now I'm confused. All right, so yes, it is the 8th year. I was pretty sure I was right on that, of the Fraser Valley Cache Bash. And it is a geocaching community organized and supported event, and it is a lot of fun. As you read, it is all about, the whole intent is refreshing the game board. So it's an opportunity for folks in the Fraser Valley to take a look at the geocaches they have and say, hey, you know what, this one's getting a little long in the tooth. Let's clear these out and let's put out new ones. Let's free up spaces for other people to put out new ones. It's really fun and it's been going really well. So it covers quite a big geography. It's so for folks who aren't familiar with the Fraser Valley, effectively the cache bash, where any of the new caches could be, and I'll explain that in a few moments, is going to be anywhere from. So if you come up from the States and you're not really familiar with our region here, when you basically where you cross the border, more or less, is the western border of it. It's the Surrey Langley border is the western border. So technically, when you cross the border at the Peace Arches, that you're in Surrey, but you're really close to the Langley border. So it's basically Surrey Langley border all the way. There we go. There's the map. All the way out to the Fraser Canyon. So that's past the City of Hope. And then it goes. So that's the west to east. Then from the south to north, the Canada-US border is the south. Kind of makes sense. And then it basically pushes way, way up to a certain geography that was arbitrarily determined, but you're up in the mountains and on the Forest Service roads at that point. Now, the bulk of the caches tend to get placed. So if you're looking at this map, the green line that's going through there is sort of the Fraser River and Highway 1. And that's the bulk of the caches are in that valley type area. Sometimes they'll be up in the mountains a little bit, but generally they're going to be in that valley stretch and down to the US border. So that's the region, that's the area where you'll find the caches hidden for Fraser Valley Cache Bash.
That's a huge area.
It is a huge area. And so that gets to my next point, which is the hiding. So no one except the reviewer and the individual cache owners know where the caches are hidden in advance of the release. So this Sunday morning, I'm going to say 8 a.m. Sounds right. I'm going to double check my facts here by sliding down.
It just says Sunday, May 4th is the cache kickoff event.
The publication day. I'm pretty sure it's 8 a.m. when the cache is released.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're released, they'll just, wherever all the caches are, they all pop up on your app magically, and it's time to go find them. Lots of people enjoy going out as groups and having group FTF hunts. Other people just aren't too worried about the FTF, and they'll just sort of start east to west or west to east and just sort of route their day. And it's a full day of out geocaching. Most people, because of the geography, won't get them all. And it's okay to not get them all.
What?
Because it's not a geocoin challenge. So not yet anyhow. So the idea really is to get out, enjoy exploring the area, visit new communities, and find super creative caches. And that's the one thing that I will say. We encourage the cache hiders to be as creative as possible with the hides. And man, we get some high favorite point hides that come out for Cache Bash every year. And it is so fun. So people really, really get into it. And we get some fantastic hides by some great cache owners in the Fraser Valley. And so every year there's the theme. And so everybody works within their interpretation of the theme. And again, the creativity comes out, right? We get just some fun stuff. So this year's theme is comics. Now, of course, lots of different ways to interpret that. The default, you go, oh, like the Sunday comics.
Comedians, Jerry Seinfeld.
Or that, right? Like there's all kinds of different ways you can interpret that. And so that's what most caches will probably be themed on. But we also know that Geocaching HQ has their hiding themes, and the hiding theme during Cache Bash release period is back to nature. So Cache Bash also welcomes hides on the official theme as well, because that's a new thing HQ has been doing. They haven't been doing that for the last 8 years. So we're like, hey, sure, if you want to hide it on that theme, no problem, go for it.
There you go. Brings comics like comic books, comics like cartoons, comics like live action based on comic books, comics like comedians. Lots of
Lots of
options.
Indeed. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you, Brian. So that's kind of what Cash Bash is. So it is it's honestly it's most fun in groups. It's the most fun
Mhm.
to get together with some other geocachers and get out there and have some fun. Oh, we got a comment from just Carlo, who has hid some amazing Cash Bash caches in the past. He's very excited about the theme. It's right up his alley. Fantastic. Well, if a little plug for Carlo, if you have not seen, he has a series of videos
Mhm.
on creating caches that are a
We've had
lot
him
of.
on this show about creating
He has
caches.
been on this show to talk about it for sure.
We should have him back.
Why not?
Mhm.
Absolutely. We'll plan for it. Carlo, we're going to be talking to you and getting you back on the podcast. So do something fun so we can talk about it. All right. So
Oh,
that's. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, okay, Land Monkey. Are there the caches from the previous Cash Bash? Can you still get the caches from Cash Bash 7?
Yeah. So yes and no.
Maybe,
People
right?
don't
Depends.
necessarily archive their last year's caches just to put out new caches. Sometimes some will come and go. But yeah, as Brian says, old Cash Bash caches are definitely still out there to be found, scattered about. The best way to do it is to use whatever app you're using to go geocaching. Use um, the search criteria FVCB. It's a unique enough combination of letters that you will only get Cash Bash caches. And if you only want to focus on running for those FTFs, use FVCB8.
There you go.
But if you're open to like, well, you know what? I'm just going to pick a region and I'm going to find any Cash Bash caches in that region and then, filter on favorite points as well. Because if it's a last year or older, it's probably collected a good set of favorite points by now.
Mm, yeah, good. Is that helping to turn over the game board to get new caches out there, remove ones that, like you said, long in the tooth, are just not being found anymore? Perhaps they need maintenance.
That's a really great question, Chris, because that, as you note, that was the intent of why Cash Bash was started in the first place 8 years ago, and it took a little momentum, like anything, to get going. And now we are finding that, yeah, definitely, every year, Fraser Valley and Metro Vancouver geocachers are kind of looking forward to it. They know it's coming, so when the announcements come out, folks will start looking at, because there's a period of time, much earlier in the year, it's announced, hey, this is our theme, these are our dates, and this is the cutoff date to get your caches submitted so that they can get published on the go live day. And so people will start thinking about the theme. They'll start looking at what they have out there already. They'll start looking for open spaces. But yeah, people will definitely refresh the game board every year. So it's a lot of fun that way.
In the chat, Bryling is posting the plans from here's Cash Bash 3, Cash Bash 4,
The,
5,
that's
6,
the lists of the
7.
previous caches. Yeah.
Wow. You just have to pause the video if you want that information. It's there for you. Or, come back and look at the YouTube online. It'll show you all the chat as well.
Well, and here's the other thing. If you want to know more, like we're sharing tons of information here on the podcast, but just Google Fraser, not Frazier, Fraser Valley Cash Bash. You don't have to put 8, whatever. And you will get to the site. And I think
Mhm.
we've got the link to the site somewhere. We can throw that up. It has a familiar name in the link to the site because it's hosted by one of our friends. There you go. Fraser Valley Cash Bash brylang.com, because Brian has been generous over the last several years to continue to host the site. That has all this information and is great for helping you plan your adventure to come out. But again, it's the tricky bit is it's not like a geo tour or a geocoin challenge where
Mhm.
in advance in any way what your route is going to be. It's you figure out your own route, and what will happen, and this is the other. So we have a on launch day we don't have a launch event in the morning.
Right.
We have a get together in the afternoon. I believe it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yes, it is.
There you go. Release day event. So we don't have it in the morning because we want to let people play the game however they're going to play it. And like I said, lots of people love to get together in
Mhm.
groups and race for FTFs. And people don't know necessarily where the caches are going to be in the Fraser Valley. So people will kind of take a gamble like, okay, well, we're going to start in Langley. Well, we're going to start in Chilliwack. Oh, we're starting in Hope, right? And so, there's a beautiful set of communities that span the whole Fraser Valley. I forgot Abbotsford in the middle there, of course. But there's a whole series of great communities across the Fraser Valley, and we don't know where the caches may pop up and in what density. So
Mm.
it's always a fun adventure, but we don't want to preclude people from having to have everybody race out from one event. So it's, you know what,
Right.
start the day wherever you want to start it. And hey, if you're like, I don't care about FTFs, you don't have to,
Right.
but it's
Well,
there if you want them.
and Land Monkey, you mentioned my theory. I was like, you know what? You should get up early, drive to Hope, and wait for them, right? And then you can work your way back, and you'd be the first to find in those ones that are far east there in Hope. It's
People
only
have
about
done
an
that.
hour east, but yeah.
People have driven way out because they heard a rumor there might be some that year way out in the valley. And so people have driven way out, and sometimes they've gotten lucky with that
Mhm.
strategy, and sometimes they've gotten hosed with that strategy, right? So yeah, it's all how you want to do it. All right. So yeah, it's a lot of fun that way. Like I said, there's the release day event. So that is this Sunday.
Mhm.
So this Sunday morning, the caches all go live. By 4 p.m., we'll encourage everybody to roll back into the northern part of Abbotsford near the Fraser River, where Graffinator, who is one of the organizers for Fraser Valley Cache Bash, is hosting a fun event there. And then there's a whole nother part of the game. We give people just over a month to find them, and you'll see this when you go onto the Fraser Valley Cache Bash .brylang.com website. We encourage people to vote for their favorite caches, because what we do is at the wrap up on Sunday, June 8th, and that will be in Abbotsford in the afternoon. We award prizes for the caches that win in the various categories that are out there. So we really uh, encourage people to get out there and find them and vote on them. So favorite points, assigning a favorite point to a cache,
Mhm.
absolutely. If you enjoyed the cache, you absolutely should do that. And that is a form of voting,
Yes.
because we
Yes, it
will look
is.
at the caches with the most favorite points. But there are some other criteria. There's and I can't. To be frank, I can't remember what all the criteria are, and we
Well,
vary them every
I
year.
can help you
Okay,
because
do you have it?
one such as brilliant camo job,
Ah,
excellent puzzle cache, awesome night cache, wonderful trail series, spectacular multi-cache, and evil cache. It's either tricky, frustrating, or whatever.
fun.
So, Bryling shared the wrap-up event Sunday, June 8th at 3 p.m.
There you go.
And that's when those trophies will be handed out.
There you
Oh,
go.
Keith says it's a cache democracy.
Cash democracy, exactly. Very good, Keats. Yeah, well, and us Canadians, we're fresh off voting, so we're very excited
Yes.
to go and do it again.
Congratulations on the vote.
Thank you. Well, congratulations
Well,
on all of us in all of the countries that have democracy
yeah, yes, exactly.
and get to vote.
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, so that's another thing to keep in mind. So even if you don't make it up here for launch day, even if you don't make it up here for launch day, consider joining us for wrap up in
Mhm.
June, and come up anytime during that month between launch day and and wrap up day, and find some of the great FVCB8 caches and cast your votes for those various criteria. You'll find all the information on the website of how to vote. and we love it. The voting sometimes takes a little reminder for people to do it.
Sure.
So I do appreciate you letting us talk about it tonight, Chris, on the podcast as a
Well,
reminder to folks.
and you know what? That means if you vote, you usually have more power, right? Than the person. You obviously have more power than the person who doesn't vote. But that
Yes.
means your voice is heard more. You've got a bigger percentage, right? Because not everybody votes.
Hey, and if you don't vote, then don't complain.
Exactly. But still come to the event.
But still come to the event. Yeah. No,
Um,
so that's going to be a lot of fun. So I guess the key things there are try and make it for launch day if you particularly if you love doing group FTF runs and the excitement of
mhm.
that whole scenario. Um, if that's not your bag, you want a slower pace, you're welcome to join us for launch day. But I know that there's other stuff going on. I mean, we talked about the bounce event, right? So people may want to go and do that, which I totally get. Well, then you know what? The following weekend, do a road trip with your friends. Come on up and find the amazing FVCB8 caches and cast your vote.
Make sure you have the proper ID.
The usual things apply for crossing the border. Yes.
So here in the States, for 20 years, they've been pushing for better ID, right? Especially for flying, right? Driver's
Okay.
license from various states don't meet federal criteria for ID.
Oh.
So they've developed what's called RealID. Okay.
Oh, is this where you're going? I was not aware of this.
Yeah.
Okay, now it makes sense. Okay.
So, for 20 years, this process has been in place. And finally, May 7th, it's done. You have to have real ID if you're going to fly.
Ooh, that's coming up fast.
Right. So now people are panicking, going, "Oh, I've got to get it." And it takes an in-person meeting. You have to bring multiple forms of ID to prove who you are. And here in Washington State, you get the enhanced driver's license. Okay. That will allow you to cross the border with just your driver's license. Well, your enhanced driver's license, you no longer need a passport or a passport card. You can use just your enhanced driver's license um, for road and marine travel.
Okay, but if you're
If
crossing
you're
the border by
flying in,
air,
you still need a passport. Yes.
right, which makes sense. So, Chris, have you ever been happier to have your Nexus card?
I don't. I don't have a Nexus
Oh, you
card.
don't? I thought you
No.
had one.
Well, during COVID, I was working on it, but I couldn't get an appointment. So
All right. Well, my friend, seems like something to look back into. But yeah, okay, really good to know about that real ID.
yeah.
So thank you for letting our US listeners know about that.
So yeah, that's coming up. Just I want to throw out that I want to say the majority of geocachers have their passport. I think that's what I guess. I hear a lot of international travel from people, so I assume they have a passport. You can use that that's fine.
I get a sense that Jim has a bit of a cruel sense of humor.
J Car says I want to sit at SeaTac and see the show when that is required.
Oh, I
Next
can
weekend,
imagine.
just sit there next weekend. It'll be fun.
I imagine that is not going to be fun,
Mhm.
particularly for our friends who work in the TSA.
Yes. Yeah. Wet Coaster says, I remember crossing the border and only being asked questions, never having to show any ID at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
But I mean, that was a long time ago. Things have been different for quite some time. And I mean, frankly, if you're a Canadian who travels down to the US, you've had to have proper ID for that
Right.
for ages. So I guess for us, I guess that's why I'm a little underwhelmed by the news. But I can imagine, as you're saying, for those who've just never had to have that experience, it sounds like even domestic flights are going to require that.
Oh, yes, all domestic flights. So
Oh my
when I go
gosh.
to
Okay.
Geo Woodstock later this month, I
Okay.
have to have my real ID. Yes. So a Washington State driver's license does not qualify.
Yikes. All right. Well, there you go.
But there's plenty of other options, right? You can take your passport card. Those work just fine. And those are the more common ones that most people are going to have. I want to say the majority. I don't want to group everybody together and say, of course, all geocachers have their passports, because why would they?
All lackeys do.
Oh, man, don't they? You probably need extra pages in their passport book.
Right?
I've had to do that before.
Fun. Anyhow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So really good advice, Chris. Thank you.
I think I'm looking back through the show notes. Land Monkey, you didn't read ahead because, we jumped all around, but
We did.
release day is Sunday in the morning.
Yeah. Why don't we recap, Chris?
So, okay. Well, Sunday, May 4th, sometime in the morning, or let's say around 8 o'clock, the caches are going to be published, right? You go out and you find them all day by 1600 hours. That's going to give you 8 hours of caching, right? 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's going to be they call it the kickoff day event. It's a kickoff day, but it's not the kickoff event.
The kickoff afternoon event. Yes.
There you go.
And the location of that is pretty central in the Fraser Valley.
Mhm.
So
And then Sunday, June 8th, month afterwards, there's going to be it says pack your dinner and stay a while
yeah,
for the
BYOF.
for the wrap up event. Oh, there it is. Now I have it all nicely laid out. Kickoff event May 4th, 2025 at 1600 hours. Nominations close at June 7th at, oddly enough, 2100 hours. I think that's someone's bedtime.
Yeah,
And then wrap up event Sunday, June 8th at 1500 hours.
Actually, it's on Sunday.
I saw that and just skipped over it.
Yes, Sunday.
Seabeck Tribe's getting her very first passport this week.
Ooh, exciting.
minute.
Congratulations.
Didn't you go traveling last summer? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, here's one more thing from Seabeck Tribe. I learned to drive in Canada because my town didn't have enough in the town to learn. Grand Forks, BC offered town driving that she needed to learn.
Awesome. Grand Forks is a beautiful location, not in the Fraser Valley, though. It's quite a distance from the Fraser Valley.
NW Cats, just saying hi. Hi,
Hey,
NW
Cats.
Cats.
All right. So did we cover off? Yeah, I think that rolls out through kind of what Fraser Valley Cache Bash is,
Mhm.
what things to come up. And again, like I say, for our friends down in the States or our friends outside of the Fraser Valley in Canada, heck, for our friends in Europe, if they want to come over and visit. You don't have to be here this Sunday, May 4th. That's just if you want to have fun in the FTF races. But, anytime between May 4th and June 7th, come on up to the Fraser Valley, enjoy the beautiful areas we have, the great people and the awesome food, and find yourself some FVCB8 caches, and please vote.
And that's easy for you to say.
I know, right?
FVCB8.
And then join us on June 7th.
Keats 94, who happens to be a carefree cacher, is also a car-free cacher.
Yes.
No,
Okay. I see what you're so
yeah,
sorry.
there
Chris.
you go. You see,
I wrecked your joke because I thought you misspoke.
he's going to have to hitch a ride for the FVCB. So he's willing to chip in for gas. What a nice guy.
There you go. So yeah, and that happens, right?
Maybe
So
bring a sandwich.
definitely bring a sandwich. So again, that's part of the fun as well. And the BC geocaching Facebook community gets pretty active with people doing exactly that, right? Like not everybody has a car, or not everybody necessarily wants to drive. And so people will group together for 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on the size of the vehicle and how snug people want to be. Sadly, for those interested, the Wolverine is full already, so I don't have any more seats to offer.
There's a lot of room on top if you're willing to hold on tight.
I can put the basket on top, yeah. But yeah, so there you go. So, look at that. Brian's even trying to help get Keats connected with somebody else from Edmonton who's coming out to participate in Cache Bash. Fun.
What? Look at this kind of matchmaking. Maybe they're both carefree.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But not both car free because, well,
that wouldn't work. Yeah.
That's not going to work as well. Yeah.
Also, it's a really long walk from Edmonton to the Fraser Valley.
Is it? Yeah.
All right.
EC Rock Crawler says, I love cramming 5 in the back of my 69 VW Bug. I'm old enough to remember when my brothers got a VW Bug. My sister and I were small enough to get into the cubby in the very back, behind the back seat.
Whoa.
That's right over the engine.
Yeah,
so
that's warm.
not long trips because it gets warm back there. But yeah.
Amazing. Well, there you go, folks. So you who knows what's gonna go live. There's definitely going to be a variety of geocaches themselves. There is always a variety of cache types: multis, mysteries, where I goes, letterboxes, traditionals. So all of that is going to come out. Maybe even adventure labs. Who knows? It's all up to what gets put into the queue and what goes live on the day. So tons of fun. Please come up and join us again for release day if you're vibing on that the race for FTFs. But you got a month to plan a road trip up to the Fraser Valley and just have an amazing time in this beautiful area finding caches.
Thank you so much. Yep, sounds like so much fun. I need to get up there and do that.
There you go, my friend. You are more than welcome to come and visit.
Ooh, but I know what I'm doing Saturday. Sunday we have to have a talk.
Okay.
And get my proper ID together.
Yeah, make sure I really appreciate that you shared that on this episode. I was not aware, being a Canadian, I was not aware that that's a thing, but that sounds like a really, really important thing. So
I think it's good that there's a, more of a unified ID system rather than in some states, I could go in and not even being a resident, I could get a driver's license, and that's not right.
So
Yeah,
that's a little hinky.
Yeah. So, they needed something a little more secure. But anyway,
fair enough.
That's for another show. That's another discussion. What I want to do is say thank you for tuning in, listeners. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
Absolutely. And what I want to do is take a moment to thank Landsharks and Cashly and Tourism Valemount, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. Cashly is the geocaching app for iOS. Check them out on the Apple App Store. What do they call it?
Yep, the App Store.
App Store. And whether you're seeking outdoor thrills or just a peaceful retreat, Valemount awaits you.
Yes.
I know, right? It just sounds, we're going to get up there.
It's
all
awaiting us.
We want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters, of course, Landsharks, Cashly, and Tourism Valemount, but also our good friends, Cool Cow Cacher and Hawaiian Maile. Folks, if you want to know more about supporting this here podcast, click that Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website.
Like you, Dak.
And CRS 98.
Flagman.
Geo Nav Pro.
Korsgat.
JT Coffee.
Keats 94.
Gas Station Tuna.
Sprouter.
Jakar.
Ooh. GSM ×2.
Boomer 365.
GeoBirder.
Geocaches.
Green Words.
You Talks to Rocks.
Just finding our way.
Beach of Washington.
Mountain Bike.
Trexer.
M-Nerve.
Railroad.
Ooh, I like that. Doramore.
Alondro.
NW Cats.
B Pendragon.
Logwork.
Team Noltex.
Kid Vegas 19.
Seabeck Tribe.
Just Carlo.
Subway Mark.
Limax.
Genies.
LG 9000.
Kitty Quest.
Wet Coaster.
Lost Ken.
Alan.
Whidbey Island Gal.
Butterfly Girl.
Ackerdock.
Skyhawker.
Terrible Tease.
BC Rock Crawler.
Gundark 2000.
Antaeus.
And the Camp Clan.
Folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support, like those that we just mentioned, help keep this show coming. So if you like the quality shows, Click on the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website. Better yet, share your ideas for things we can talk about. If you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and give us a review. The reviews are important because, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. A little too much caffeine tonight. Call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or give us a ride across the border any time of the day or night. And of course, you could email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. This show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2025 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
There seemed to be a little echo there.
I thought we nailed that pretty well. That was fun.
Let's see.
The After Show.
That's the one I needed to crank up. An echo on the echo.
Oh, too fun. There you go. SB Dave's got it. The After Show.
Let's see. Let's see if we have anything. SB Dave wants to know who's going to the Spring Fling block party.
Ooh.
That is
Where's
it
that
not
one?
in California, Southern California?
Is that the I've lost track of which ones are which, but
I know.
I feel like that's the California one.
I think so.
Scott talks about that one. Yeah.
Did you know there's an 83-kilometer stretch of Highway 5 from Blue River to near Valemount with no geocaches? You know what
Fix
could help?
that.
You know what could help with that? If there was a yearly event to place new caches in the area.
The Blue River Cache Bash.
Is that outside the zone?
That's outside of the Fraser River
Okay.
or the Fraser Valley for sure. That's so Highway 5. You'd need to basically get up close to Kamloops, which is about 3 hours from the Fraser Valley. So, yeah, that 83-kilometer stretch. Interesting trivia, but yeah, that's not going to get populated with the Cache Bash.
Now, don't forget about Ape 2025, Return of the Ape. That's GC away, Jay. Is getting close to 300 will attends. If you were thinking about going, put your will attend in now, please.
You know, I just might go now just to defy that GC code.
There you go. GC, come here, Jay.
That's right. Fine.
Away, Jay. That's just funny. Did they choose it? Did it,
Intentionally?
There's going to be a whole series of geocaches that are away, A, B, C, D,
Yeah, at least 26 of them. Yeah.
right? And 1 through 9 or 0 through 9.
Yes. So, yeah. So 35?
36.
36. Oh, yeah, including the 0.
And in case you didn't know, Fraser Valley Cache Bash.bridling.com.
There you go. You corrected yourself. You caught it early. Good job.
Keith says the first episode after my YouTube hiatus. I didn't know you could have a hiatus on YouTube, and are you allowed to show that? Goes public this Saturday. Features sea to sky model train show in Squamish. Still working on putting episodes together to keep the flow flowing.
There you go. Good job.
What else do we have?
Caching Kent says the GC code for Ape was completely random. It ended up being really memorable, and which is absolutely good for a big event. And that's awesome. I'm really hoping that that they can hit the 300 because I believe that's the magic number to get Mega back.
That's it.
Sitting at 280. So there you go, folks. If you've been on the fence and you're not really sure if you want to get out there, take a look at it. And hey, 20 more will attends, and we could get that into a Mega.
That's right.
I'm not telling people to just go and log a will attend because we're not allowed to do that, but I am encouraging you to give it serious thought of whether you would like to go.
You get back to the Fraser River again, just north of Valemount.
The Fraser River, yes, one of the longest rivers in British Columbia.
You know who it's named after?
Sorry?
Do you know who it's named after?
Yes, it's named after a radio psychologist from Seattle.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, wasn't it the navigator of Vancouver's
Simon Fraser.
Simon Fraser?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. BC Rockcrawler just made camping reservations in Olds in August.
Yes. Speaking of mega events,
So he's camping in an Oldsmobile in August.
Yes.
That's going to be hot and miserable.
Very warm.
Yeah.
Very warm. So Olds is a city in Alberta, and they are having a mega event this August. I believe it's the weekend after APE. So
Yes.
So if you're thinking of
Mhm.
some fun cross-border road trips,
We talked about that earlier this year, right?
we did.
If you take that week off in between, you do APE, you do Olds. No, it's the other way around. You do Olds, you do APE.
No, it's APE first, then Olds.
Okay.
But you could go by way of Valemount.
Yes, you could. And drop a cache or two along 83 kilometers of uncached roadway.
There you go. That's right.
It was named after Simon Fraser.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah.
Well, I
Other
mean,
people-
after I made the joke about
Other people are saying.
there
NW Cats. Jay, you got to come down for the APE.
you go. Yeah.
Block party for APE.
There you go. I'll think about it. We'll give it some. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm listening.
Nicely done, Keats. I'll tell you what. Incentivize me to come down for APE.
If it hits 300, you'll come down?
No, well,
Guaranteed?
I don't know. Incentivize me.
How about if we make you the honorary APE?
Now we're getting warmer.
Okay, here's the deal. You always want to be the first to wear the ape costume. You don't want to be the second.
No. Ask Sprouter.
Oh.
Fun. All right, my friend.
Keats is also hoping to make it to Olds.
Yes, absolutely.
And he had to do it. Brian, monkeys, apes, you know. You're lucky, Brylang. Somebody stuck a
that was close.
chat in there just before.
That was
When you go to ape, you got to visit. There it is. The cache shall not be named.
Well, then I guess that's good night, folks.
Yeah. Jay Carr says, I can attest to that being the second in the ape outfit. I'm late to the show. What is a BAST key?
I don't know. What is a BAST key?
I don't either. I don't know what a BAST key is.
Is this something I said? Usually when I use something similar to that word, it ends differently.
Well, yeah. Okay, folks, thank you so much for joining. And if you know what a BAST key is, go ahead and let us know. But until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.